Hello, and welcome to the Three Sisters Podcast. I'm your host today, Knit a Little. This is episode 197. And hopefully this time one of the animals will not interrupt the podcast. So I'm going to make this short and sweet. Yes, I know, it's been a long time. Honest and truly, I haven't knit very much at all. Between getting the kids adjusted to school, a death in the family, getting animals adjusted, I just didn't have time. And that same animal is milling around wanting attention. That's how it is in this family. But I have finally started knitting. I think I knew it was bad that I wasn't knitting that much when our youngest came up and said, "Where's your knitting?" And I said, "Well, I'm tired. I think I'm just going to watch the movie." And he went, "Mommy, are you okay?" Yeah, I thought I'm okay. And so he found an empty knitting bag. I forgot which one. And he goes, "What can we put in here?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I think you need knitting." Oh, and you're going to hear some noise because now the dog has gone totally nutty with the cardboard tube. It's my life. So we went into my stash and I found some yarn. You'll see it later. I'm making mittens for my husband out of them. And that's thank you to Justin, because I think I truly scared him. Apparently, mommy with very little knitting, it makes the boy nervous. There's a little girl here. There's a kitty cat here. I'm going to pull her up so you can say hi. No, come on. Yeah, that's my girl. Oh, you better come up here because Sedgwick is coming up here. Say hi, Dixie. She's doing lovely. She's adjusting. She's finding places in the house to watch her birds and her now adopted squirrels. She loves those outside squirrels. We don't have as many bunnies, but she's very happy with the squirrels. And we have an armadillo. And she likes the armadillo. The armadillo's not too crazy about her, but she loves the armadillo. And we have a lot of stray kitty cats around. And your hair's going in my nose. I can't breathe here, cat. We have a tom cat that looks very much like Dixie. Actually, I thought Dixie had gotten out when I saw him up close. Boy, did I scare him. You want to go down? Okay. No, honey. No. We don't do the computer thing. I'm sorry. I love you, but no. Okay, you can do the Pride Rock thing. How's that? Harry, thank you. Yeah, honey. Okay, so I did look nice at the beginning of the podcast. She's looking for wildlife. So if you hear a smack, she's hit the wall trying to get at said wildlife. I have been knitting. I am preparing for winter because I get cold here. I know it's not that cold in my part of Texas. I know. I'm a Michigander. I think my blood's thinned out because I get so cold. So that being said, please, no prejudice here. I had casted on a sweater. And it was an acrylic wool blend, and it was at best DK weight, and I so fell out of love with it. I couldn't even look at it. I've yet to take it off the needles and unwind it. I got it even past the arms. I was doing a raglan, and I got it past the arms, and I fell out of love. Winter's coming up. I better fall in love with the sweater fast. So I picked up some acrylic. No prejudice here. Don't beat me up over this. Look, I'm knitting again. I'm just happy to be knitting again. So if it's acrylic, it's acrylic. So here we are. And the pattern is from Ann Budd's sweater book. And it is a set-in sleeve. Why? I don't know. I'm not a set-in sleeve girl, but the empty canvas really did appeal to me. I have the back done. I have one side done. This is the second side, and I will probably be knitting for about 2 hours when I take Rachel to ballet. Guess what I'm taking with me? So there you go. It was cheap, and I can get it done fast. It's on size 7 needles. It's Red Heart Lavender. Yes, it's acrylic, and it's cheap as chips, but it will last the entire winter long, which is really good. I need something it's going to wear like iron. I know some wools will, but with a fixer-upper house, I think I don't want to worry about damaging a wool sweater. When I know if I snag this sweater, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just going to keep going. I'll pull it in and go. That's what I need this winter. Yes, I have one more acrylic thing started. I pulled out an Afghan that I was not in love with. And I cast it on several times. This is just going to be a lapgan. And it's going to be for my lap because I freeze. I get so cold here. No. I wish I really knew why it is colder here than when I was in Buffalo. I don't know. I don't know that one. And if I knew, I'd be a genius, and I'm not a genius. I know what I like. So there we go. And boy, do I have a lot of tags. Look at these tags. I gotta weave all these silly things in. What pattern? I haven't a clue. I had a pattern at one time with all the moving and everything. It's long gone. But it's an easy pattern to remember. If you want it, I'll write down my version of it because I know it was free when I got it. I'll write down what I do from my memory because I've changed this pattern a couple times. It was never supposed to be on worsted weight, I'll tell you that now. It was always like DK. But I know there are several versions of it. I've even seen a baby blanket in it. Now, one of these days, I might just take all the leftover baby yarn that I have and make a big baby blanket. But we'll see. I think you can hear Cedric in the background. He is sneezing and he is acting like a puppy. He's a 3-year-old puppy. That's the rest. That's all my acrylic, I promise. Well, no, there's one more acrylic, I think. I don't know if it's a blend or not. I don't know. But it's neither here nor there. It's from my stash. Christmas. No telling the husband, okay? I have cast on mittens for John. These are on size 3 needles. And you know something? I have knit so much with these, I can't tell you what the metric is because I can't see it. But I am knitting the mittens out of Patton's Croy socks in black colorway. Don't ask me the pattern. I'm just winging it. You see, if your husband takes a nap, you know how they do in the chair. You just take a tape measure to their hand. You just tape measure. Oh, okay, that's 4 inches, not a problem. Oh, 4 inches, not a problem. He has no idea. He has no idea. He did not feel me measure his head for a hat either. So, he has no idea. No idea, or at least I don't think he has an idea. And it did help that when he thinks that I'm knitting a pair of mittens for Ian, which I've already got long gone done over, that he thinks they're gray. Ian's mittens are black. So Ian thought I was doing black mittens for his father. John thinks I'm doing gray mittens for Ian. It's Christmas. I don't have to set them straight until Christmas Day. That's all to that. I am actually knitting socks again, which is really good because I have been off knitting socks for a little while. I don't know how long. I think it took a different type heel get me back knitting socks. Now, this is a cuff down. I know, Catherine, Lindsay, just stop it. Catherine's like, Lindsay's mom's doing cuff down again. Okay, this is what drew me to doing cuff down. Yep, there we go. You can see the double gusset. I have to tell you, when I read the pattern, it's a free pattern. I'll link it. If you want, I will send you the link. It's double gusset sock. I read it and I was like, didn't like how it was written. And then I turned out it's written perfectly well. It was just my brain. I think my dyslexia played with it, but I ripped out the first attempt and I looked at the finished, several people put their finished product on Ravelry. So I looked at it again and I thought, oh, now it makes perfect sense. It wasn't the designer, it was the knitter. I think this is the cutest gusset ever. I think it is so cute. I love it. I absolutely, positively love it. I'm knitting these socks up on size 2 knitting needles. Don't ask me the metric. My brain hurts. Out of Regina Sonata, colorway Party. Whoops. Whoa, we're going to have a kitty doggy fight. Now you two play nice. Come here. Stop. Yeah, Dixie's getting the last word in. Oh, goodness gracious me. So, yes, I am nearly done with this sock. I will probably cast on another one. So I have a sock and a pair of gloves on the knitting needles at all times. So this is usually in my purse now because I have been at the grocery store to pick up prescriptions, to pick up last minute things. I make tuna noodle casserole today. And I looked in my cupboard and I didn't have any noodles. How can you make tuna noodle casserole with no noodles? So took my knitting, went and got noodles, and of course the line was around all the way down the checkout operators, and everyone was grumbling. So I pulled out my knitting and I started knitting, and 10 minutes later I'm checking out because I didn't know I got it in the express checkout. Look, it wasn't marked where I could see it. I just got lucky, I think. So that's that. Showed you John's mittens. And showed the sweater. One last thing to show you before I say goodbye. I cast it on and I pulled a doink. I cast it on for a shawl for John's cousin. Well, I claim her too. I love her like my own cousin, and he can't just claim her. That's all to it. So, our cousin Pam lost her mom, John's aunt, Aunt Dorothy, last week. Actually, the funeral was last week, but we lost her, and it hurts. It hurts. Catherine and Ian were very close to their aunt. Catherine tells of going to Thanksgiving to Aunt Dorothy and Uncle Felix's, and Aunt Dorothy would always have green bean casserole waiting for her. And if you know Catherine, you know she loves green bean casserole. One day the girl's going to look like green bean casserole. And it's not that hard, but Aunt Dorothy always had it for any of the functions that Catherine went to. And Catherine always took away some in a to-go container. And I think Catherine's probably going to take that memory with a whole bunch of memories for the rest of her life. So Aunt Dorothy's not really gone. She's in our memories. Ian, I had to tell Ian that his aunt passed away. That was hard. Oh, that was very, very hard because he spent a lot of time with Aunt Dorothy. When we were in Buffalo, John would just take him when he was going to visit his uncle, and Ian would be with Aunt Dorothy, and she always had toys waiting for him. And he thought they were just for him. They were just his. What it was is she knew he was coming, and she always had something out for him to do. And he would sit on the floor, and he would play with that barnyard for hours. And she could see him from the kitchen, and she knew he was safe. And he would play, and she would, make a meal or clean her kitchen. Those two never really spoke a lot, but they were there with one another. And he remembers it to this day. When he first started going over, he was about 3, and we were there for about 5 years. And John would take him to his uncle's all the time, and he would get to be out in the barn with the boys from time to time, but he spent the most time with his aunt. And you can't underestimate how much love goes between a child and their aunt, because he loves her unconditionally. So it was kind of hard when I had to tell him. And how do you say goodbye long distance? I have to tell you, it is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I stink at it. Because just until about 2 days ago, I have been on and off blubbering my head off. Something that reminded me of Aunt Dorothy, the smell of coffee. Her kitchen always smelled of coffee. I made a pot of coffee for John before he went to work, and I came back in after walking Rachel to school, and I smelled coffee and burst into tears. I don't like coffee. Not that much. I mean, sometimes I'll drink coffee. Not very. It has to be cinnamon coffee. Burst into tears. I'll be doing something, and she'll cross my mind, burst into tears. So that, I think, has finally stopped, which is really, really good. This face, wet, moist, and red from tears, is really not a good thing. I didn't know how to say goodbye. And I didn't know how to give comfort. And if I was there, I know I would have hugged on Pam, her daughter, and said it's going to be okay. But how do you do that long distance? So I cast it on for a half pie. Now that's the top. Don't ask me what the yarn is. I don't know. I had no ball band. I didn't. But this was the yarn. I looked at it, and I knew this was the yarn that I was going to use. It is so soft. I don't know if it's a wool blend. I don't know if it's 100% acrylic, but oh my gosh, just squishing it, it's just, instant comfort. I did not know what I was going to put on the end. This is the last panel. I did not know what to put on there. And that's not like me. Normally I have it planned out in my head. This is not what I had in any of my thoughts at all. I like it. I will do it again. I don't know. I just started, and this is what came out. I'm going to have probably 2 more of these. I love it. Excuse me. I've been talking too much. I've got the hiccups. But I love it. This is going to go to Pam. And I hope if she wears it around her shoulders, it can be a hug from us. Just to say, we may not be there, but we still want to give you a hug and make you feel better. And even John said, oh, she's going to like that. And I'm like, yes, I did good. That's all I can show you. I have a couple more things on the needles, but I can't show you because it's Christmas time. And the 2 people, well, I can't tell you because they're watching. Yeah. No, I can't do that. So, I do not know who's going to podcast next. I don't. It could be Catherine. It could be Lindsay. It could be Catherine and Lindsay. it could be me again. I haven't a clue. So until we podcast again, I promise to try, now that I'm knitting, to podcast again. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.